The British royal family shocks with a new wave of financial scandals. While they pose in luxurious attire in public, something much more sinister is happening behind the scenes. It's unbelievable. Secret dealings with wills, hidden investments, and suspicious changes in laws, all shrouded in a veil of secrecy fiercely guarded by the monarchy. Get your popcorn ready and follow the developments as we uncover the secrets that could change your perception of royal finances. Have we been deceived all this time about the true worth of the British crown? Discover who the real puppet master is in this web of intrigue and scandal. The British royal family has always attracted public attention, but they are just like everyone else. They need to eat, dress, take care of their health, pay for utilities, and school fees for their children. Plus, they host celebrations and engage in charity work, which costs a significant amount of money. So where do the Windsors get their income? And do they really benefit the United Kingdom? What does the family of the late Queen Elizabeth II cost England? The Queen was always considered one of the wealthiest women in the world, yet she never flaunted her bank account. Nowhere do members of the royal family demonstrate such a fierce unwillingness to reveal the truth as in financial matters. Even the wills of lesser-known family members are subjected to censorship by court order. The royal family members fiercely protect the secrets of their wealth, insisting it is private, even if it clearly stems from their public roles. The government, often an ally of the monarch in matters of secrecy, claims that even revealing a single overall figure for the entire family, without further detail, would represent an unacceptable threat to their security. Rumours abound that some family members blatantly manipulate the law to conceal the true extent of their wealth. For instance, Queen Elizabeth herself could have secretly influenced legislation. As reported by The Guardian in 1973, Elizabeth II's lawyers intervened in the passage of a law that would have hindered investors from increasing shares in listed companies through shell companies or nominees. Had the law passed, they would have been required to disclose the names of the true owners. Journalists in their investigation discovered that the Queen personally reviewed more than 1,000 laws. Between 1968 and 1982, she intervened in the passage of certain bills 4 times. Through her lobbying, the Queen managed to keep the size of her wealth a secret. A series of government memos found in the National Archives show that Elizabeth Windsor's private lawyer pressured ministers to change proposed legislation to prevent the disclosure of her shareholdings. Following the Queen's intervention, the government included a provision in the law allowing it to exempt companies, which are of financial interest to heads of state, from new transparency requirements. A scheme devised in the 1970s was actually used to create a state-backed shell corporation, believed to have obscured the Queen's private shareholdings and investments until at least 2011. When contacted by The Guardian, Buckingham Palace did not respond to any questions regarding lobbying by the Queen to alter the company bill, or whether she used the consent procedure to pressure the government. In a statement, a representative of the Queen said, "Queen's consent is a parliamentary process, where the sovereign's role is purely formal. Consent is always granted by the monarch at the request of the government. The decision whether Queen's consent is required is made by Parliament independently of the royal household, including in matters that may affect Crown interests, encompassing personal property and personal interests of the monarch. If consent is required, the bill is presented to the sovereign solely upon minister's advice and as part of the public protocol," the representative clarified. It was around this time that a shell corporation was created, through which the Queen secretly owned shares in companies. These interventions are believed to have helped conceal the Queen's personal fortune at least until the year 2011, when the government announced that nominee holders of the Bank of England would no longer be exempt from disclosure rules. 4 years ago, the company closed, and what exactly happened to the shares remains unclear, as the company never filed public reports on its activities. The Royal House of the United Kingdom has maintained secrets for more than a century, with 33 wills belonging to family members never having been published. Thus, the public does not know what types of assets the ruling family acquired and how they were later distributed. Assets can include items like jewellery or real estate. It is unknown whether these went to staff, friends, or remained within the family through wills. Newly censored documents suggest that the late Queen gave direct instructions to keep one or more wills secret from those drafted around 5 decades ago. Buckingham Palace was asked directly about Elizabeth II's instructions regarding the concealment of other royal family members' wills, but diplomatically avoided a direct response. It is known to the subjects that they are very wealthy, yet no one knows the exact scale of this wealth. According to an estimate by The Guardian, published in the year 2023, King Charles III's personal fortune is around £1,800,000,000 sterling, which is over 204 billion rubles. This is not surprising, as Charles, though perhaps not the most beloved monarch among the British public, is a successful businessman. Charles has invested parts of his personal savings and assets in residential developments within the United Kingdom, making him one of the largest construction investors in the country. Charles also owns lands, such as the Sandringham and Balmoral estates. A significant portion of Charles III's wealth is the Duchy of Lancaster, valued at $820 million. Yes. Queen Camilla and her former husband Andrew Parker Bowles married in 1973 and divorced in 1995. A year after the divorce, the now Queen consort moved to Ray Mill House in Wiltshire, a house valued at £850,000 sterling in Raybridge near Laycock. Queen Camilla still spends a lot of time in this house, despite being married to King Charles since 2005. When Prince William becomes king, it's likely that Camilla will retain her private property, as she will not hold the title of Queen Mother. Deepa Mehta Saga, founder of Area Decor LLC, explained to Express.co.uk why Camilla is so attached to her private residence. She said, judging by the photos of Ray Mill House available online, Queen Camilla's private residence doesn't appear luxurious, but is charming. The estate spans 17 acres of land, and near the house, there are extensive gardens, an outdoor pool, and stables, making the home suitable for a nature lover. Queen Camilla truly loves the countryside. She and King Charles spend a great deal of time in the Gloucestershire countryside at the Monarch's country home, Highgrove House. A property expert told Express.co.uk about Queen Camilla's interiors and how the decor lends it luxury. For Queen Camilla's 75th birthday, to celebrate, Kate Middleton took exclusive photographs of the Queen consort in the garden of Ray Mill House last summer. It's likely that the Queen consort will move here permanently after Prince William ascends the throne. According to the expert, this would be quite natural. Deepa suggested, given that the house has been her property for many years, it would be quite natural for the Queen consort to have many cherished memories associated with this home. The wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles took place 35 years after their first meeting, in 2005. It was a modest civil ceremony, which the Queen ignored, though she agreed to participate in the official wedding photo session. The happy couple received a church blessing from the Archbishop of Canterbury. After the wedding, Camilla received all of Prince Charles's titles. This includes Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, which she chose not to use in memory of Diana. She also became the Duchess of Cornwall from 2005 to 2022, and in Scotland, the Duchess of Rothesay for the same period. When Charles became king, Camilla was given the title of Queen Consort. Queen Elizabeth II had confirmed this in a message to the people, marking the 70th anniversary of her accession to the throne. This title does not impose any particular official duties on Camilla, except the key mission of supporting her husband throughout his reign. It also signified that the Queen had finally accepted her into the family. Currently, Camilla Parker Bowles is actively involved in charitable activities and is a patron of the Royal Osteoporosis Society, shelters, and other organisations. She regularly attends social events. Over the years, public opinion towards her has transformed from intense dislike to respect and affection. Even Princes William and Harry have never shown overt antipathy towards her, thanking her for making their father happy. July 2022 can be confidently called the month of Camilla Parker Bowles. This time, the Duchess of Cornwall appeared on ITV, not alone, but with her brother and sister. Together, they took a walk around their family estate of Hall Place, a house in Hampshire that was once owned by their grandparents. At some point, the pleasant conversation turned into confessions, where the younger siblings recalled all the mischief that Cornwall committed with them in childhood. It turned out that when Camilla was a teenager, she couldn't exactly be called sweet and innocent. She was a true rebel, fearless and cunning, capable of minor pranks that bordered on elaborate jokes. These were revealed by the Duchess's younger sister, Annabel Elliot. For a moment, it seemed like the adults turned back into the mischievous teenagers they once were. Camilla and Annabel grew up in an 18th century country house in Plumerton, located in East Sussex. But they also spent a lot of time in their grandparents' home. For the documentary film, the current owner of the house, Michael Langdon, gave the sisters a tour, and Camilla admitted, "I could find my way here with my eyes closed." It turned out that many years ago, the siblings discussed the prospect of living in this house, but each of them found it inconvenient, so now they content themselves with touching childhood memories. We discussed whether any of us could take the house, but it was too big. We were so sad that it left the family, Annabel said, and her story was immediately continued by Camilla. "We really loved being there. It was a real holiday. I love that place," concluded the Duchess of Cornwall. The two sisters have very different personalities. Camilla is more sociable, gathered suitors in her youth, loved parties and sports, especially horses and hunting. Annabel, more serious and less carefree, was known as a smart and elegant woman. "With her style and good taste, she should have been a duchess," said a close associate of Annabel. After studying fine arts in Florence, Annabel was 23 years old when she returned to the United Kingdom to marry her boyfriend, Simon Elliot, in April 1972. He was the son of Air Chief Marshal Sir William Elliot, head of the Royal Air Force. The couple has 3 children, Ben, Alice, and Katherine. Soon, Mrs. Elliot opened an interior design and antiques business, Annabel Elliot Limited, in her cottage in Stourpane, Dorset, and co-founded the Talisman chain of interior stores. Her activities range from vintage clothing to stylish furniture and 17th century paintings. In 2014, The Telegraph named Mrs. Annabel Elliot one of the most influential interior designers in the United Kingdom. Annabel made a small history with the Windsors in February 1989. Her friend, Lady Annabel Goldsmith, organised a party for her 40th birthday at her mansion in Ham, near London. It was here that Diana directly asked Camilla about her relationship with Charles. On the 9th of December 1992, when Prime Minister John Major announced in the House of Commons the official separation of the royal couple, it was Annabel who drove her sister away, pursued by paparazzi and television cameras. After the tragic death of Diana in 1997, Annabel offered Charles and Camilla a refuge at her home in Dorset to spend a quiet weekend away from the watchful paparazzi. Finally, at Annabel's 50th birthday reception in February 1999, at the Ritz Hotel in Mayfair, the Prince dared for the first time to make a public appearance arm in arm with Camilla. Annabel and Simon also accompanied Charles and Camilla on their honeymoon to Balmoral after their wedding in 2005. The Prince of Wales has always been grateful for the support and comfort he and Camilla received from Annabel and Simon. In terms of charity work, Annabel has long been a patron of the British Adoption and Fostering Association, which her mother, Rosalind, previously supported. As for her son Ben Elliot, born in 1975, he is now co-chair of the Conservative Party. Regarding Camilla's accession to the rank of Queen Consort, there's no doubt that Annabel is thrilled and feels genuine admiration, as she has, in her own way, contributed to this. She has risen to the occasion beautifully, and I'm so proud of her. Our parents would have been proud. We are a very close family. We have families that have grown up together. Our children are friends with each other, she recently said in an interview with Evening Standard. When Princess Diana passed away, Charles had a purpose: to one day be on the throne with Camilla as his wife and queen. He always dreamed of it, which is why he almost immediately hired one of the most famous British PR agents. This is mentioned in his memoir Spare by the King's younger son, Prince Harry, who, unlike William, never found common ground with the stepmother. Harry doesn't name the PR agent, but it was likely Mark Bolland, who in 2002 began a strategy to improve Camilla's image, recounts Ariadna Rokossovska. Lady Lansdowne, godmother to Camilla's daughter, gallery owner Laura Lopes, has kept royal secrets for decades and never before publicly spoke about the new queen. She recalls how Camilla coped with the incredibly difficult 1990s when photographers followed her everywhere and crowded outside Midwick House, the family home of Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles. She was alone without any protection. "That's where we could help. She would come and stay with us with the kids," says Lansdowne. "One day I came by Midwick and there were cameras in all her windows. But she is resilient. She was raised with this extraordinary sense of duty where you get on with it, don't grumble, put yourself in the best light and keep going, and it has served her very well. Sometimes it was dreadful, but her sense of humour and knowing she had friends helped her through it." Lansdowne is the owner of Bowood House in Wiltshire, not far from Ray Mill House, the private country residence Camilla purchased after divorcing Parker Bowles in 1995, where she still spends much of her free time. She says that Camilla never in her life thought she would become queen when she and Charles officially rekindled their romance after their marriages fell apart. She never assumed anything about whether they could ever be together. It was never a plan. She would have laughed just to think of it then. It was quite complicated when they married, but nothing she couldn't cope with. When they married, she knew what lay ahead. It's incredible that she takes it on now at 75. It's damn hard to do at an age when most of us retire. For many years before their wedding, in April 2005, Camilla walked the most difficult paths, often remaining in the shadows, rarely having the opportunity to travel in the same car as Charles publicly or attend official events. His former spin doctor, Mark Bolland, organised a well-coordinated campaign to make her more acceptable to the public, culminating in the couple's coming out moment at the Ritz Hotel in London in 1999. Attended by the world press. Meanwhile, Charles made it clear to the royal family that she was an undiscussable part of his life. The wedding coincided with the Grand National Horse Race Day, and after watching the race, Queen Elizabeth delivered a speech filled with metaphors of the obstacle course. They've crossed Becker's Brook and the chair, and all kinds of other terrible obstacles. My son is home and dry with the woman he loves. Now they're on the home stretch. The happy couple is in the winner's enclosure. A guest recalls that the Queen's speech set the tone for what was to follow. If the Queen says they are well suited, everyone else just falls into line. Charles and Camilla celebrated their 18th wedding anniversary, their union being 3 years longer than his first marriage. They have known each other for over 50 years. However, even as Queen, Camilla still has to assert her position in palace circles, which remain a deeply patriarchal environment despite being led by a woman for 70 years. A source close to Camilla says, "You can see it in rehearsals before the coronation. Sometimes it's challenging to ensure her voice is heard. But she tries to have her voice heard, saying, 'This is what I think about this,' and talking to the king. He wants to make his wife happy. She's earned that right. She is concerned about making sure everything goes well, and she has a knack for suggesting improvements." Lansdowne, who supported her on Coronation Day, says, "She won't let herself be bossed around. She won't throw a tantrum but say, 'No, I want it this way.' It's an incredibly important event for both of them. She must know her role." Those who see Camilla in action behind closed doors recognize that beneath her cozy public image lies a leader who manages the royal court as if she were born to it. In royal circles, she is known as the Lady Boss, and as one source puts it, she can be darn tough. She would make a brilliant 16th century courtier because she is insightful. Camilla enjoys the company of journalists and takes delight in her son Tom's career as a culinary columnist and critic. A former courtier remarked on her approach to the press. She was clever and aimed to win them over, including her critics. She achieved this not through cunning, but through genuine interest in their lives, feeling at ease with them compared to other family members. She has always been more like a politician, thinking, "How do I make this work for me?" King Charles appointed Annabel Elliot as the chief designer of his estates after marrying future Queen Camilla in 2005. The interior designer was paid through the Duchy of Cornwall, which Charles managed until his accession to the throne following Queen Elizabeth's death in September 2022. It is reported that 75-year-old Annabel earned several $100,000 over the years for her work. However, Prince William chose not to rehire Queen Camilla's sister, Annabel Elliot, as an interior designer for the Duchy of Cornwall. The Duchy of Cornwall is a 700-year-old royal estate intended to provide income for the heir apparent. and its latest integrated annual report showed that the Queen's sister was not rehired for her design services in the 2023-2024 period. During the period up to September 8, 2022, the Duchy paid Mrs. Annabel Elliot, sister-in-law to the 24th Duke of Cornwall, variously receiving £19,625 sterling, $25,276.51 for fees and commissions, and £12,316 sterling, $15,862.70 for furniture purchases and retail items for Duchy of Cornwall holiday homes, Duchy offices, and nurseries, states the report, which shares the same information as last year. As of March 31st, 2024, Mrs. Elliot was owed £0 sterling, 2023, £0 sterling. Added in the new annual report published on July 24th. Sources have confirmed that Prince William will no longer hire Mrs. Elliot, although it has not reflected on her work, reported The Telegraph. Sources added that the Queen's sister's work was considered complete, and staff had learned sufficiently from her. Annabel previously decorated and updated properties in luxurious rental cottages in the Duchy of Cornwall, in Cornwall, Wales, and the Isles of Scilly, and received commissions as well as reimbursement for furniture, fittings, and retail items, reported The Telegraph. Queen Camilla's sister apparently had no competitors for the royal position, as the Duchy previously stated that its design contracts were not tendered for open participation. Unlike Queen Elizabeth II, the newly crowned Queen Consort Camilla decided to invite 2 ladies instead of 6. One of these ladies was her younger sister, Annabel Elliot. Despite her success, she continues being the loving sister of Queen Consort Camilla. Queen Camilla ensured that her sister Annabel Elliot was one of her ladies-in-waiting. A lady-in-waiting is the modern version of a lady-in-waiting, a woman who accompanies the Queen, Princess, or any other high-ranking noblewoman. Though Camilla's sister is not as widely known as other royal relatives, it can't be said she is kept hidden. On the contrary, she has appeared in public with her sister and brother-in-law before, but prefers not to draw too much attention to herself. Queen Camilla and Annabel share a close bond, and the sisters continued their summer tradition by attending Wimbledon together on July 10th. Annabel memorably served as an attendant at the coronation when Camilla was crowned in Westminster Abbey in May 2023, where the Queen also invited representatives of the next generation from her family. Queen Camilla appointed Annabel's grandson, Arthur Elliot, as one of her 4 honorary pages, while her grandsons, Freddie Parker Bowles, Gus Lopes, and Louis Lopes, joined the group. 14-year-old Freddie is the son of Tom Parker Bowles, while 13-year-old Gus and Louis are twin sons of Laura Lopes. Tom and Laura are Queen Camilla's children from her first marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles, who also attended the historic coronation last year. The latest message from the Duchy of Cornwall holds great significance, as it summarises Prince William's work for the first full year managing the estate as the new Duke of Cornwall. A key highlight is that 42-year-old Prince William received $30 million from his first annual income from the Duchy. This amount largely covers the yearly official, charitable and private expenses for himself, his wife Kate Middleton, and their children. The funds come from the vast Duchy of Cornwall, which spans 130,000 acres across 23 counties in England and Wales, and includes agricultural lands, real estate and commercial enterprises valued at over $1 billion. Previously, His Highness's expenses were funded by his father, who received income from the Duchy of Cornwall, just like all his predecessors. It is also noted that he might receive more than £20 million sterling next year. The estate has been performing strongly lately. The Duchy achieved a record profit of £24,048,000 sterling in the 2022 to 2023 period, which is £1,020,000 sterling higher than the £23,024,000 sterling the previous year, marking an approximate increase of 4.5%, as shown by the estate's accounts. Typically, William received £24 million sterling as personal income. However, calculations were complicated by his becoming the heir apparent in the middle of the fiscal year. Nevertheless, growth is evident. Charles, the former Prince of Wales, claimed approximately £11,275,000 sterling before ascending the throne. Kensington Palace explained that as a one-off measure related to the change of Dukes of Cornwall, the Duchy's team requested to retain part of the surplus this year for working capital purposes, the day-to-day management of the estate. As a result, the Duchy retained £6,873,000 sterling, resulting in His Highness receiving an income of £5,900,000 sterling. Incidentally, William faced criticism for not publishing an annual report during his first year in his new role. The press persistently asked the Prince of Wales why he doesn't open his residences to the homeless. It is understood that Prince William pays income tax on all the income he receives from the Duchy, minus household expenses. However, he has not disclosed his tax bill as his father did in the past. As Prince of Wales, Charles issued a separate annual Clarence House review every year, detailing his extensive Duchy income and expenses. However, Kensington Palace stated that last year was transitional following the late Queen's death, and therefore William's first report as heir will not be published. Their Royal Highnesses, along with their Duchy and family, are working on plans and priorities for the Duchy and family for the coming years, as well as how they support their work and charitable priorities, such as the Royal Foundation and its programs, said a Kensington Palace representative. Hence, the household is not publishing an annual report. Income from the Duchy covers William's public and private life expenses, including travel, purchases, and other spending. The Prince does not have access to the Duchy's capital value and pays income tax on the annual surplus income he receives from it. The Duchy of Cornwall is considered one of the largest and oldest landholdings in the United Kingdom. The estate is valued at over £1 billion sterling. It was established in 1337 by Edward III to support his son and heir, Prince Edward, known as the Black Prince, and has remained for all subsequent heirs. The so-called Duchy of Cornwall extends across 23 counties in England and Wales and includes the Oval Cricket Ground and 67,000 acres of Dartmoor. The recent report also mentions Prince William's new patronages. He will transition from president to patron of the Football Association of England, a role previously held by his grandmother, Elizabeth II, and the British charity Fields and Trust, founded in 1925. Additionally, the heir will assume the patronage of the Welsh Guards charity and the Cornwall Royal Agricultural Association, becoming president of the Victoria and George Cross Associations. The title of Duke of Cornwall is given to the eldest son of the reigning monarch of the United Kingdom. It was first granted to Edward the Black Prince, 1330-1376, the eldest son of King Edward III of England. In 1421, a law was enacted stating that the Duchy always passes to the reigning monarch's eldest son and heir. However, the title and Duchy never pass to a grandson, even if he becomes the heir to the crown. For example, being the heir to King George II, 1727-1760, George III, 1738-1820, despite being Prince of Wales, was never Duke of Cornwall as he was the grandson of a king. According to The Telegraph, the royal family spends an average of approximately $368 million a year. The British royal family is very wealthy. This is not about the sovereign grant received by family members. They own significant personal fortunes. These are primarily vast landholdings and income from them, along with real estate, securities, and often businesses. Indeed, money should work and not sit idle in the bank. Currently, Prince William's personal fortune is estimated at around $100 million, not counting the real estate value, which exceeds $1 billion. The heir's wife's net worth is estimated at around $10 million. Kate did not enter the royal family empty-handed. At the time of her birth, Michael Middleton worked as an air traffic controller, and Carol Middleton was a flight attendant. Later, Carol Middleton founded her own party supplies company, Party Pieces. This venture became so successful that eventually her husband joined the family business, enabling the Middletons to buy an apartment in central London, a house in Berkshire, and send all three of their children to the prestigious Marlborough College. Their income was also sufficient for Kate to study at the University of St Andrews, so prestigious that Prince William also attended. It was there that they met. To socialise in the same circles as the heir, funds are undoubtedly needed, which the family had. By the time Kate and William were married, the Middleton family business was valued at £30 million sterling. Currently, Party Pieces is experiencing financial difficulties. Upon becoming Prince William's wife, Kate joined the working members of the British royal family, meaning she engages in charitable patronages, represents the state during overseas trips, and more. Official expenses for living, travel, and household are covered by the sovereign grant. What does this grant consist of? Each year, the royal family gives the profits from their vast holdings, owned by the Crown Estate, to the UK government, but receives a portion back in the form of a sovereign grant. The share used to be 15%, but it has now increased to 25%. In 2023, $109 million were allocated from the sovereign grant for royal family expenses. Security expenses, however, are covered by a separate amount paid by taxpayers. This explains why the security issue for Prince Harry is so pressing. He no longer serves as a working member of the royal family, and funds for his security are not provided. As for Kate's income, a few years ago, the Middletons inherited a trust fund worth $3.7 million. In March 2011, Kate and William created a fund, asking everyone wishing to give them a wedding present to donate. The entire amount was distributed among charities under the patronage of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Middleton's charitable work mainly focuses on issues related to young children, mental health, sports, addiction treatment, and the arts. In July 2020, Kate Middleton and the Royal Foundation of Prince William donated about $2 million, £1.8 million, to support the mental health of the country's residents amidst the coronavirus crisis. Grants were awarded to 10 leading charities working in these areas. Princess Catherine herself worked for the English Queen, performing some of her important but not primary functions. Primarily, she bears representative roles. Although she accompanies her husband Prince William on trips, she also plays an independent role. She is a favourite of the English public. Unlike Princess Diana, her husband's mother, she does not bring revolutionary changes to the traditional palace protocol and the centuries-old order in the royal family. Before her illness, Catherine carried out official visits, requiring outfits that befit her status. Additionally, protocol requires the maintenance of a certain number of staff serving herself, her children, and Prince William, as well as expenses for the security of the British royal family representatives. For her work, Catherine, Princess of Wales, does not receive a salary in the literal sense. Expenses are necessary for fulfilling representative duties and managing charitable foundations, missions, and actions. To this end, the British Parliament allocates about £40 million sterling annually for the exercise of the representative power of the English Crown. Because senior family members perform royal representative functions, Elizabeth II covered their expenses for representative activities. From the royal grant, all royal family members receive no more than 5%. 95% of the maintenance of both princes and their families was paid from Prince Charles's personal income. He financed expenses, allowing his children to maintain their castles and lead a lifestyle befitting their status. In 2020, Duchess Meghan and Prince Harry stepped down from their roles as senior royal family members and, along with their son Archie, decided to relocate to California to start an independent life. After Megxit, the Dukes had to transition to completely self-financing. Immediately after their move from the United Kingdom, the couple relied on a $13 million trust fund Prince Harry inherited from his mother, Princess Diana. Additionally, according to Forbes, Meghan contributed to the family budget with her wealth earned from her role in the series Suits, amounting to approximately $2 million. In 2015, Harry retired after a 10-year military career. He reportedly earned about $45,000 annually in the Royal Marines. After turning 30, he received an inheritance from Princess Diana amounting to about $12.3 million. In September 2020, the Duke signed a $100 million deal with Netflix, agreeing to produce documentaries, feature films, TV shows, and children's programs. In April 2021, Harry and Meghan announced the first project for streaming from their production label, Archerwell Productions. It will be a documentary series titled Heart of Invictus, focusing on the preparation of participants for the Invictus Games in 2022. In December 2020, the Sussexes announced a partnership with Spotify. The couple plans to release entertaining podcasts on the platform. The terms of the deal were not disclosed, but according to Newsweek, the contract is valued at up to $35 million. The couple's first podcast on Spotify aired at the end of last year. On June 8th, Meghan's book, The Bench, about relationships between fathers and children, was released. It quickly climbed to the top of the New York Times children's books bestseller list. The Sun speculated that the Duchess could have received an advance of nearly $700,000 for the work. In addition to all of this, Prince Harry holds 2 official jobs. He joined the Aspen Institute's Commission on Information Disorder and was appointed Chief Impact Officer at the startup BetterUp, which focuses on coaching and mental health. However, details about the Sussexes' salaries are a commercial secret and are not disclosed. Although Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan no longer officially represent the United Kingdom and do not use the titles Their Royal Highnesses, they remain members of the British royal family. Today, the former actress's personal fortune is estimated at around $5 million, while their joint wealth with her husband amounts to $45 million. Interestingly, their royal wedding cost roughly the same amount. The British royal family owns many pieces of art and historical relics, but these do not compare with the cultural heritage formerly owned by the entire nation and protected by the Crown. Palaces and castles, fortresses and monuments, paintings and sculptures. While these may not belong directly to them, they are part of the so-called Royal Collection Trust, valued at £11 billion sterling. According to foreign media, Princess Charlotte alone has a personal net worth of about £3.6 billion sterling, 426 billion rubles. The children of Prince William and Princess Catherine are officially recognized as the richest in the world. Given all the revealed financial manipulations and intrigues, an obvious question arises: how prepared are the British to tolerate what is happening? Now, more than ever, it is important to hear your opinion. Do you think it's time to change the order of things within the monarchy? Leave your comments below. If you found this interesting and want to stay updated on all the new revelations, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, where insider information always takes center stage.